Uh, Good afternoon, guys. I was trying to reach you on the website itself from the online platform. Looks as if there is some sort of issues. So we'll be I'll making this video to you, and I'll be sending you this video of the session. So what the people are going to discuss today in this session is all about how different types of leaders are, who is a leader, and characteristics of a leader, and few types of leadership qualities. So when people talk about who can be a leader or who is a leader, uh, there's no particular definition to that. So basically, a leader, one who motivates others, a leader, one who inspires others, a leader, one who communicates properly, leader, one who is unbiased. So when the people talk leader wise, the people tend to remain in such a way that people are either we disclose. So a leader is one who inspires you, who is unbiased, who listens to you. So textbook wise, if you people if you want me to brief, or if you people want me to update, a leader is one who guides an individual, who directs an individual, who motivates an individual to get his work done. So basically, an individual who inspires you, who guides you, who directs you, and at the same time who listens to you. We technically, or we people call him as identical leader, a role model leader, of a leader who used to be, who people would love to follow. So these are the ones which we people tend to carry. These are the people who we people love to call them as leaders. So every one of leaders will not be a born leader. Few people are we people who are acquired leaders. We few are born leaders. Acquired leaders are those who life experiences teaches them to, where experience teaches them to, where we people learn by experience, we people learn by the situations what we have faced around. But whereas when we people talk about born leaders, we people talk about leaders who have got those skills from the previous aspects, such as leadership, which has been transferred from one generation to another generation. Leadership which has been coming from one family member to another family member. Similarly, there are few leaders, we say acquired leaders are good. So few of the people say born leaders are good. When we people describe or define either of the leaders who are born from or who are acquired leaders, possess the same quality, that is to be perfect leaders. When we people talk about what a leader is and how he gets his things get done from the people, how he manages to get the things done from the people, that is very important as a part and parcel of a leader. So when we brief out on these certain aspects of who can be a leader? How will he be? We people have certain characteristics as per your textbook wise. So we'll discuss those characters. We'll have little justification on that. Then there are few other concepts also where there are few other concepts also where we people take up in this video. So when we talk about a leader and his characteristics, first point is a leader must have followers. Naturally, a leader should always have few people who are supposed to follow him, who are supposed to go as per his orders, who are supposed to understand him, who are supposed to take his words, who are supposed to agree on good terms, and all these things. When we people talk about a leader, if he doesn't have a follower, naturally what happens? People won't consider him as one of the most serious leaders. They don't consider him as one of the efficient leaders or effluent leaders. So always you need to have one or the other, what do we say, leader who has one or more than one followers. That's the first point. Second point, a leader must have active participants. Not to, it is not fit enough that if he has only if he has only participants or only followers, that is not good enough. He needs to have few active participants who is going to interact with him, who is going to speak with him, who is going to communicate with him, who is going to understand what the leader is. He is going to understand what a leader wants from us. So only having fans or only having people doesn't serve the purpose. A leader should also always have active participants who listens to them, who can give their input also, suggestions if I meant to say. So if they can give suggestions also, they can give them advices also, they can give their viewpoints also. So this can be done by his followers, provided if they are active over the platform. Or else there are few people also who just follow him or who just want to listen to him because he is the leader. Because he is the leader, we are supposed to follow him, we are supposed to idolize him. So second point is a leader himself must have active participant. Not only that, a leader should also himself be active. If he says that my followers should be active, but if I am not so active, it's okay. No, that is not the thing. A leader, first he himself should have that activeness, should be positive, should have strong body language, should have confidence first, should be unbiased. After this, he can expect from the people being the same. So he should be active first, and then he can demand from his public, from his followers to be active. Second point. Third point is a leader must possess good conduct. Conduct here in the sense we are talking about behavior. A leader shouldn't use false language. A leader shouldn't use derogatory words. A leader shouldn't make anybody feel uncomfortable. A leader shouldn't make anybody uneasy, feel embarrassed. A leader should always see that he talks to each of them very politely, honestly, and see that everybody get mingled with him. Everybody starts mingling with him. What happens if this doesn't happen? Later on, his followers may criticize or they may question his ability as a leader. If he's talking too much, that shows that his leadership is very lenient. Anybody can speak out on anything on him. They can make him look funny also. So that is where you people will be like, as a leader, he has to keep certain boundaries. If he doesn't talk, there's a problem. If he doesn't communicate, there's a problem. So very important that you communicate whatever is important or whatever is required. You are not supposed to talk. You are not supposed to talk too much with your people, and you are not supposed to keep quiet also. Okay, so and the behavior, basically talking I spoke, the behavior has to be absolutely clean. Can't go physical, can't go violent, all this. It has to be very much clean in your conduct. Third. Fourth, leadership always involves elements of situation as well as groups. Now, a leader should always think there will be an considered as an integration between leader and his followers. So a leadership will place its own aspects on the followers, on the groups. So that element of situation which he presents himself, the behavior, the conduct which he plays himself, that bears impact on situation aspects, on individual or on groups. What leadership is presented, it bears impact on individual also as well as on the group. It's either individual versus leader or group versus leader. Sometimes depends on the situations. So you should see that he manages this group aspect as well as individually in a very diplomatic way, so that personal and professionally the things which are not damaged. That is the fifth point. There must be a community of interest between leader and followers. Whenever we people speak, the leaders should be having effective listening skills. Whenever a follower comes to take or seek help of a leader, it is very important that you as a leader listen to his things first. Listen to his aspects first. When you listen to his aspects, when you think about his aspects, then you need to hear them very carefully and understand what situation it is. Then you are supposed to put your points. It is not that you being a leader, you always go on putting only your points in the picture. And ultimately, you people say, I am the boss, or I am the superior, I am the mentor, I am the leader, so I am right. No, not always. Sometimes you as a leader might be wrong, but for that you should hear the follower first. You should hear the other party first. If he is making sense in his talking, if he is making any logical aspect in his talking where there is meaning to that, you are supposed to talk. You are supposed to follow that. And ultimately, if you are wrong, or if you are found you are on the wronger side, or you are creating mistake, you can always accept it, saying that yes, I was wrong in this, I was bad in this, but it shouldn't be repetitive again. Because otherwise, if you start making repetitions of mistakes and your follower keeps on telling you that you have made a mistake, it will hamper your image as a leader. So do not make those mistakes which you have made, and do not make your follower, your subordinate, to highlight those mistakes again and again and again. But see to that, even you are hearing the subordinates' points. If any points which are to be considered, you people can consider them as a leader. There's no harm in considering it. If you don't consider, there is harm. To be very honest. If you don't consider, there is harm. It's important that you consider the actions. You consider his waypoint, take his interest, and then act. So these are few characteristics which a leader may possess. Okay, I'm not saying these are the ones which he will always possess, but these are the ones which he may possess. I'll repeat all those 5 points again. A leader must have followers. A leader must have active followers, and he also should be an active member. Third, he should always have good conduct. Fourth, he should bifurcate, or he should align himself whether his conduct might hamper individually as well as group in achieving objectives. Then there must be a community of interest between subordinate and the leader and the followers. So these are your 5 important points which are made for leaderships. When we people speak now about the next aspect, that is the types of aspects of leaders, or the types of leaders, we people have basically 3 types of leaderships. One we have is autocratic, which you people might have heard about. The one is we have democratic, and the other one what we have is free reign style. We'll go one by one regarding this. Autocratic kind of a leader is one who starts dominating on the population or on the people, considers his people as slaves, considers his people as they are bounded laborers. He doesn't consider them to be as citizens of or the people of organization, and he doesn't consider them as part of their family or part of the working family. So it is there where people are not respected apart from what work they take. Their viewpoints aren't being respected. Their suggestions aren't being taken. Their their function, the aspects are not considered. Whereas when you ask examples of the countries, first, Germany used to be under Adolf Hitler. Egypt used to be under Saddam Hussein. Hosni Mubarak, there was a fellow, if you people have heard about it, where these people used to target or dominate or used to be dictators. So dictator leadership is also called as autocratic leadership, where we people dictate the terms on the people. In modern eras, we people don't see that much that kind of leaders, but anyways, there are few. One country we can name is North Korea, where we people have a leader who dominates or who has developed that autocratic kind of leadership. So here, leadership, frustration, low morale, and conflict, fights can easily happen. The demerits, if you want me to speak, because people aren't been given an authority, any responsibility, so they feel disinterested, low morale. Yesterday we spoke about morale. So frustration, that irritation. Then subordinates avoids responsibility because no responsibility is given. So he will avoid responsibilities. He avoids taking risks. Then he is incompetent because apart from the regular work, apart from the things, he is not being given any other responsibility. So he feels incompetent sometimes. He is wasting time. And these are the few aspects where it bears a very negative impact, bears a very negative aspects on the things. Now, there are few things also where these might be pretty good. These decisions or this kind of leadership holds very good. The first might be if subordinates are untrained. Now, and if subordinates are inexperienced, what we people might have, what we might face if they are inexperienced, if they are untrained. So, under these circumstances, you can dictate the terms and get it done. So, this is where your whole population itself is inexperienced. Whole population itself is untrained. Whole staff of yours is untrained. That time, you people can use this system properly, can use the system wisely. Second, where the subordinates do not have complete knowledge. When they have half knowledge kills. It's dangerous. So an individual who is giving you half knowledge just to avoid or just to safeguard himself, there's a problem. So under those circumstances, this kind of leader who dominates, dictates, or whatever you can say, can be helpful for such things. Then where there is no room for any mistakes. So during that time where you can't afford to make any mistakes, so this kind of leadership is pretty essential. Then quick decisions, when you require, where quick decisions have to be taken. That time you have no time to ask everybody your comfortableness, your convenience. So you have to take immediate decisions. And where the leader himself is competent, extraordinarily good, and brilliant also, you can say. If under those circumstances you don't require any others to contribute to his decision making. So these are few points where we people say that he may exercise it, and this is for the benefit of the organization. But however, when we people speak overall on a management background, autocratic leadership style, majority of the times, it loses productivity, it reduces the motivation, it reduces productivity, as I said, and it brings low morale. Employees don't want to work under those circumstances. So first is your autocratic. Okay. The first one is autocratic. The second one, when we people talk, that is your democratic. Democratic countries or democratic nations where people have their own decisions, where individuals have their own decisions, what to buy, what to wear, how to live, whom to live, where to live, when to live, all those things. When we people have those decisions, how, when, why, how, everything, we people call them as democratic. And when we people see that democratic style, is that people's suggestions are being considered, people's opinion have been considered, people things have been considered, their viewpoints, suggestions have been considered, their what we say, their their importance has been realized, their value has been given. So under those circumstances, democratic and participative kind of rule has been exercised. Take our example itself, where we people are democratically independent. We can make our own decisions. We can make our own, uh, we can lead our own lifestyle. We can have our own choices. We can have our own preferences. But when we people talk about the difference between democratic and free reign, we'll come to the difference later. But when we speak about the democratic aspect right now, where people have, motivation is high, productivity sometimes might be high, and other things. What are the deep characteristics, features of democratic? What are the characteristics and other styles of leadership we have, apart from democratic's advantages and disadvantages? We'll take up in the next session or the video. Alright, so we'll stop here for, this video was basically to introduce to you the concept of leadership and features and the characteristics of leadership. Remaining sessions we will be handling it from the next sessions. Alright, thank you.